All right, so it's been a little while and the curds have kind of settled, so now I'm gonna pull this over to the bag that I have hanging from my ceiling, and we're gonna start draining these curds. This is the cloth bag. It's a muslin bag that I made that I use for hanging the cheese curds, and I sterilized it in boiling water just a few minutes ago, and now it's ready to go. One of the things you want to make sure is that the curds are well cut up into small pieces, because if you don't cut them up into fine enough pieces, it'll take a lot longer to drain, and you might end up with some sections in your curds that are a little too wet and soft. So to get good drainage, I always make sure to cut my curds up into small enough pieces. I find that if you let the curds and whey sit and settle and separate for a little bit, then you can use a strainer like this to scoop some of that whey off the top so that it doesn't have to drain out of the bag. Because the more concentrated you can put the curds in the bag, the less time it's going to take for them to drain. Okay, so let's start scooping these curds into the bag. So this is just pickling and canning salt, as you can see, and I'm just sort of dusting the surface all around of each of these blocks of cheese, and that should draw a lot more of the whey out, and I'll end up with sort of a salty brine solution in the bottom of this. Alright, so we're at the final stage of making feta cheese. And now we just have to transfer the brined blocks, the salted blocks, into this brine solution, which I have, I keep it in the refrigerator. And I just finished the last of my feta from the previous batch, and so I'm going to start loading this new batch in here. And usually, it has already developed some flavor by now from sitting out at room temperature for about 3 days. It will continue to develop flavor in the brine solution in the fridge, and will last quite a while in there. And then, of course, there's a bunch of brine solution left in the bottom of this bucket that will be added to the previous brine solution. And usually I only reuse the brine like a couple of batches, and then I entirely replace it with new brine solution. Alright, well that's the entire process of making feta cheese on a homestead scale. Hope that was helpful to you, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't done that yet, and share and give a thumbs up to this video, and I'll see you next time.